As I speak, winter is almost upon us. In this video, I'm going to tell you which US cities are going to be the coldest this year. The cold weather has started in parts of the country already, and it's just going to get colder, just like every year. Back in the day, we prepared for winter. We chopped wood, we filled pantries, we bought new sweaters, we gained some weight, and maybe had some sort of festival or ritual. These days, we just make sure we got tire chains or winter tires. There's also this new trend called the Winter Arc Challenge. It might not be new, but it's been making the rounds on the internet, and I thought it was interesting. Winter Arc Challenge is a self-improvement project conducted between October and January. The people that do this, bunch of hippies, claim it's the perfect time to set goals for healthy habits. They say it's also a perfect time to do a bunch of that hippie stuff like inward reflection and, just try and get through winter. That's all we want to do. Today we look at the coldest cities in the US, and we are ranking them by their average low during the winter. If this video gets enough interest, we'll do the small town version, and there are some even colder small towns than these cities. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 11, Bozeman, Montana. That's right, we got 11 because number 10 and number 11 have the same average temperature during the winter. But back to Bozeman. Bozeman, Montana, where winter doesn't just happen, it thrives. At an average winter temperature that makes you question reality, it's only at number 11 on this list. But don't let that fool you. Bozeman is the kind of place where the snow arrives early, overstays its welcome, and then leaves you wondering why you didn't invest in a snowplow business. As subscriber Glenn C. put it, the snow just keeps coming, making it perfect for skiing, but not so much for nude sunbathing. Well put, Glenn, well put. The upside to this is Bozeman is a hub for winter sport enthusiasts. If you love skiing, snowboarding, or just being out despite the cold, this is your paradise. The downside? You better love winter because it's going to be around for a while. The snow here gets so deep that you practically have to tunnel to your neighbor's house to borrow some sugar. But on the bright side, you can skip leg and back day at the gym. Your daily snow shoveling routine will take care of that for you. And let's not forget the beautiful mountain scenery. Bozeman's backdrop is stunning year-round, even though you're probably going to be viewing it from behind frosty windows a good portion of the year. But with the snowy landscape and the active outdoor culture, Bozeman makes winter almost tolerable, if you're into that sort of thing. If you don't like the cold, and you don't like to be out in the cold doing stuff, you probably want to overlook Bozeman. The average winter temperature in Bozeman, Montana is 16 degrees Fahrenheit, and its record low temperature in the winter was minus 43 degrees in 1936. Number 10, Concord, New Hampshire. Concord, New Hampshire, where the cold is as classic as the colonial architecture. With an average winter temperature of ice cream, it also might be one of the warmest cities on this list. But don't get too excited. Concord still delivers all the snow, ice, and frigid temperatures you'd expect from a classic New England winter. It's the perfect place to enjoy winter storms that knock out power, create black ice, and help you find the joy of scraping frost off your windshield every single morning. But don't worry, Concord's got that quaint New England charm to keep you company while you freeze. You can stroll through historic streets, admire the colonial buildings, and quickly retreat back inside before you turn into a human icicle. If you like your winters cold, snowy, and picturesque, Concord checks all those boxes. Side note, they have a pretty good-sized retirement community in this town. But while you're cozying up to that fireplace, just remember that Concord's cold isn't as bad as some of the really frigid places on this list. Sure, it's still freezing, but at least you can enjoy some hot cider while gazing out at the snowy landscape, pretending you're in a Hallmark movie. But don't forget to wear your gloves when you venture outside, or that perfect postcard scene might turn into a frostbite nightmare. The average winter temperature in Concord, New Hampshire is 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Their record-breaking low, 37 degrees below zero in 1943. Number 9, Helena, Montana. Helena is where the beauty of the mountains almost makes you forget you're freezing. Almost. With an average temperature of a slushy Fahrenheit, Helena offers all the cold you could want in a lifetime, mixed with stunning views of snow-capped mountains. If you're going to suffer through winter, at least you have something good to look at to distract you from your fingers going numb. Winter in Helena is all about crisp air, powdery snow, and the kind of cold that makes your breath freeze in front of you. The plus side? It's a skier's paradise like just about any place in Montana. The downside? You'll need to defrost afterwards. Don't let the gorgeous landscapes fool you though. Helena's winters are harsh. Buy yourself a log cabin and get yourself a heavy spouse and stay warm in the winters. One of Helena's best kept secrets is the fact that even though it's cold, it's a dry cold. That means you won't have to deal with damp, bone-chilling misery like you would in other places. So while you're still freezing, you'll be freezing in style. And honestly, that's all you can ask for when you're living in one of the coldest cities in the US. The average winter temperature in Helena is 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the previous record was minus 34 degrees Fahrenheit set in 1888, but Helena, Montana hit minus 35 degrees this year, January actually, breaking a 136-year record with minus 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 8, Marquette, Michigan. Marquette, Michigan, where the snow never stops and the winter seems to last forever. With an average winter temperature of a popsicle, this Upper Peninsula town offers more snow than you ever thought possible. Want to see what it's like to live in a snow globe? Move to Marquette. You know it's cold when you are 3 hours north of the frozen tundra of Green Bay and Lambeau Field. Snowstorms here aren't just occasional, they're a regular occurrence. If you enjoy the sound of a snowblower at 6 a.m., this is the place for you. The good news is, if you're into winter sports, Marquette is a dream. Skiing, snowshoeing, and even ice fishing are common pastimes here. The bad news? You'll have to dig your way out of your house to do them. But hey, at least you get to be in shape from all that shoveling. And let's not forget the lake effect. Living near Lake Superior means you get even more snow than you bargained for. But don't worry, you'll barely notice after your first few months of hibernating indoors. Embrace it, and you just might survive Marquette winters with your sanity intact. Only time will tell. The average winter temperature in Marquette, Michigan is 13 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest temperature ever in Marquette was minus 33 degrees Fahrenheit, which happened in February of 1861. Number 7, Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is cold, but it's not the coldest Alaskan city on this list. Sure, it's still freezing cold, but at an average temperature that's about the same as the entrance to an igloo, it feels more like a tropical beach compared to the coldest one on this list. Anchorage does have an advantage over that other Alaskan city. Breathtaking views of snow-capped mountains and glaciers. Winters in Alaska are long and dark and cold, but at least you get a chance to see a moose. While you're out looking for that moose, you get to enjoy the beautiful surroundings. And if you're into outdoor activities like skiing and dog sledding, Anchorage is the place to be. Just be prepared to deal with the snow that seems to never melt. The real highlight to living in Anchorage is the Northern Lights. Yep, you can watch the Aurora Borealis dance across the sky while you contemplate how many layers of clothing it's possible to wear at once. Anchorage is cold, but at least it's beautiful. The average winter temperature in Anchorage, Alaska is 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Anchorage, Alaska's record-breaking low was minus 38 degrees Fahrenheit, and that was in 1946. It has a dash 1947 as well. I think it happened both years. Number 6, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Welcome to St. Cloud, Minnesota, where the winters are cold enough to make you question the meaning of life. With an average winter temperature of Hoth, it's the kind of place where stepping outside is, you feel like it's a dare. Sure, you just have to go get some milk, but feels like someone had to dare you to do this to get you outside the house. But at least the snow is pretty, right? Nice, fluffy, it's white, everyone enjoys the snow for like the first 2 hours. It's just too bad this stays for what seems like forever. You'll spend most of the winter trying to shovel your way out of a snowbank, while wondering why you didn't move to Florida, or Arizona for that matter. St. Cloud offers all the usual Midwestern winter joys: freezing wind, ice-coated sidewalks, and snowstorms that make you consider starting a new career as a hermit in the Australian outback. But there is a plus side to this. Whenever someone tells you how cold it is, you get to respond with, "Oh, you think that's cold?" And then you tell your story. Please, I lived in St. Cloud. This is nothing. It's like an icy badge of honor. One of the best perks of St. Cloud's freezing winter is the sense of camaraderie among locals. Nothing brings people together quite like mutual suffering. You and your neighbors will bond over ice scraping techniques and swapping stories about who got their car unstuck from the snowdrift the fastest. It's a Midwestern thing. St. Cloud has an average winter temperature of 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest temperature in St. Cloud, Minnesota's history was minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit, which happened in January of 1977. Number 5, Bismarck, North Dakota. Bismarck, North Dakota, where 25 degrees Fahrenheit starts to feel like a reasonable temperature. That's how it is in this city. The winters here are long, cold, and snowy enough to remind you that you live in the great frozen plains of the United States. If you've ever dreamed of experiencing winter for 6 months straight, Bismarck can make that dream come true. The good news, though, you'll get plenty of opportunity to test your endurance, whether it's driving on icy roads or trying not to freeze your nose off on a short walk. The snowbanks in Bismarck are no joke, and you might find yourself wondering if you'll ever see grass again. Spoiler alert, you won't, until spring. Maybe. But on the bright side, you'll get to enjoy some beautiful scenery, as long as you don't mind seeing it from the warmth of your home. Just make sure you have enough firewood, hot drinks, and you are subscribed to World According to Briggs, and you've also hit that notification button. The average winter temperature in Bismarck, North Dakota is 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Their lowest temperature ever recorded was minus 45 degrees in both 1916 and 1936. Number 4, International Falls, Minnesota. International Falls, fondly known as the icebox of the nation. They weren't kidding when they got that nickname. The winter temperatures here are only the envy of northern Siberia residents. This town delivers on its promise of being colder than the heart of a stripper when you've run out of money. If you're the type of person who loves frozen eyelashes and the sensation of your nose hairs freezing on contact, look no further than International Falls, Minnesota. Moving here means your freezer will be warmer than your backyard. Winter in International Falls lasts about 6 months, but hey, who's counting really? Snowbanks are as tall as your house, and you'll spend a weird amount of time watching the screensaver on your computer just waiting for that tropical beach to come back on. The silver lining? Your hot chocolate game will become top tier, and your ability to start a fire in a wood stove will rival Bear Grylls. Fun fact, they have an annual Icebox Festival, because why not embrace the misery with a celebration? One lady said, "The good news about International Falls is every time we get a blizzard, we have a baby boom 9 months later." The average winter temperature low in International Falls, Minnesota is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and their absolute coldest day was minus 55 degrees Fahrenheit, set in 1909. Number 3, Fargo, North Dakota. Next up, the delightful city of Fargo, where the winters are about as harsh as the accent in the movie named after this city. This place feels like a refrigerator on a good day. Fargo lets you experience the joy of living in a place where snow is both constant and an enemy. Forget winter wonderland, it's more like winter survival land. You'll spend most of your time indoors unless you're into the kind of outdoor fun that involves frostbite and shoveling your way to freedom. The best part about living in Fargo, you'll develop a toughness, so when your friends from Iowa say it's cold there, you can say, "Oh, it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Correctionville, Iowa? That's practically summer weather here in Fargo." And yes, Correctionville is a real town in Iowa. They have like 800 residents. That might be incorrect, but it's somewhere around there. The people in Fargo are close because there's this whole bonding thing over misery. People in Fargo don't talk about the weather. They complain about it. It's practically a sport. The average winter temperature in Fargo, North Dakota is 4 degrees Fahrenheit. The lowest temperature they've ever had in Fargo, North Dakota, minus 39 degrees. That happened in 1996. Number 2, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Starting to see a theme here, and that theme is North Dakota's cold. Welcome to Grand Forks, where the temperatures drop so low you'll be questioning if karma is real and what did you do in a past life to deserve this. At an average winter temperature of, "Oh my god, my nipple just froze off" Fahrenheit, Grand Forks has mastered the art of making you wish you were anywhere else from November through March. Winter isn't just a season here, it's a full-time job. If you like the idea of shoveling snow 6 months out of the year, you're in luck. They've got plenty of it for you. Grand Forks offers all the classic winter activities like scraping ice off your windshield, trudging through the snowdrifts that make you feel like you're in a poorly planned Arctic expedition. Don't worry though, at least your house will be cozy. I mean, as long as the heating doesn't break down and your internet stays on so you could watch World According to Briggs, of course. If it does, you might as well start building an igloo in the backyard just to be safe. I've slept in an igloo before. They're relatively warm. The average winter temperature in Grand Forks is 3 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the average. Their lowest recorded temperature was in 2004, and it was minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, if you're thinking about moving to one of these places, there's a link for Home and Money in the comment section below. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere in the country. And the question of the day, can you live in a cold climate like this? And if you could, which one of these cities is most appealing to you? All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Fairbanks, Alaska. I've been here. I didn't go during the winter, thank God. I was there in May and June one year, and it was pleasant. I think there was a lot of mosquitoes. I think that was my problem with the place. Been many years. But Fairbanks isn't just cold, it's practically the North Pole. Without the perk of Santa's workshop, residents here have 2 main hobbies: layering clothes and making sure their car battery doesn't freeze solid. But hey, at least you'll get to enjoy the beauty of the northern lights like you did down in Anchorage. But here, while you're watching those northern lights, you'll slowly lose feeling in your toes. It's all about perspective, right? If you're planning to live in Fairbanks, forget about your favorite jeans or fashionable winter coat. Here, survival is the fashion statement of the year. Think Polar Explorer chic. It's still not the snowiest city in the United States, but it gets bad. I had a couple friends that were stationed in Fort Wainwright, which is right there in Fairbanks. The pictures on their Facebook was insane. The average winter temperature low in Fairbanks, Alaska is minus 17 degrees. The lowest temperature ever recorded in Fairbanks, Alaska was minus 66 degrees Fahrenheit, which occurred in 1934. All right, that's today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, you probably enjoy one of the 2 videos being suggested right now. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.